According to Clause 2 of the Treaty on the Formation of the USSR in 1922, the approval, amendment, and addition of the Union Treaty are subject to the exclusive jurisdiction of the Congress of Soviets of the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, and not to some presidents of the republics, even if all taken together. The very same procedure for the republic's withdrawal from the Union Treaty was regulated by a special law, the USSR Law, on the procedure for solving issues related to secession of the Union Republic from the USSR. Number 1409-1, dated the 3rd of April 1990, and provides for the solution of the issue only in a referendum and the adoption of a decision by a number of votes 2/3 of the list of voters. Not only the legislation of the USSR was violated, but also of the Russian Soviet Federative Socialist Republic, RSFSR. The constitution of the RSFSR was violated when the Belovezhskaya Agreement was signed. In particular, Article 5. The most important issues of state life are brought up for a nationwide discussion and also put up for a nationwide vote, referendum. Today, we have the expression of the will of the Soviet citizens at the referendum on March the 17th, 1991, on the preservation of the USSR. 76% of the votes in favor. 76%. And the decision of the Congress of People's Deputies of the RSFSR on the operation of the laws and the Constitution of the USSR. At the same time, 73% of the voters of the RSFSR at the Union referendum spoke in favor of preserving the Union Treaty of 1922. In opposition to this expression of the will of the voters and the Congress, a legally void transaction of the president of the RSFSR in Belovezhskaya Pushcha was carried out, not approved by the Congress of People's Deputies and not approved by a referendum. The Belovezhskaya deal took place behind the back of the President of the USSR, Mikhail Gorbachev. He was not notified of what was happening in Belovezhskaya Pushcha, and the leaders of other republics of the USSR didn't know about it either. Immediately after the signing of the Belovezhskaya Agreement on the creation of the Commonwealth of Independent States, which took place on December the 8th, 1991, Yeltsin first called U.S. President George Bush. They talked for 28 minutes. And 2 weeks later, on December the 25th, Mikhail Gorbachev called George Bush. This happened right before he officially resigned as President of the USSR. The conversation lasted 22 minutes. During a conversation with the elder Bush, Yeltsin reported to him that a very important event had taken place in Russia, and he would like to personally inform Bush before he learns about it from the press. The leaders of the three republics, Belarus, Ukraine, and Russia, got together and signed the agreement on the community of independent states of Belarus, Ukraine, and Russia. Yeltsin told Bush that President Gorbachev was unaware of these results. The Russian Federation proclaimed itself the legal successor of the USSR in the international arena on the basis of the resolution of the Supreme Soviet of the RSFSR dated December the 12th, 1991, number 2015-1, on the denunciation of the Treaty on the formation of the USSR. On December the 24th, 1991, Yeltsin continued his criminal activities and notified the United Nations General Secretary that the membership of the Soviet Union in the United Nations would continue with the support of the members of the Commonwealth of the independent states of the Russian Federation. But Russia doesn't have the right to be present at the United Nations. Why? After the USSR lost in the Third Cold War, which ended in its collapse, the United Nations General Assembly didn't amend the organization's charter. In chapters 5 and 19 of the United Nations Charter, the name of a non-existent United Nations member, USSR, remains. For reasons of false political expediency, the international community applied the concept of state continuity to the Russian Federation and by default retained the USSR's legal succession in the United Nations